Ready? All right, let's get it going. I've been told we're on. So good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Good deal. Good Friday morning for you. Everybody get their breakfast. If you haven't, get on over there, get your free breakfast. It's good stuff this morning. Today is Friday, August 27th, 2021. Already coming down to the end of summer there, Steve.
We are, Dave.
Yes, and you know how I know it's the end of summer? We got college football starting tomorrow. A handful of games firing up tomorrow, and then the last preseason NFL is this weekend as well. So not only that, we got a hurricane coming in, they say, down in the Gulf. So all of our drivers out there listening on YouTube, Facebook, or any of them here, if you're heading towards the south this weekend, I think they're saying landfall they're expecting on Sunday. Be prepared. You may want to hold up. Depends on when it hits. I can't say I've ever been inside of a hurricane before or drove through hurricane winds or rains, but I wouldn't want to. Winds 75 plus miles an hour is not fun, I can tell you. Winds 40 plus miles an hour is not fun. So, yeah, so if you're heading that direction this weekend, be prepared. That's what we got going on weather-wise down south. So this morning, I'd like to throw it out to, let's go out to the western part of the United States. I got Salt Lake City. Let's see what old Troy Rich is doing this morning. Troy, you out there?
Morning. Actually, it's Aaron. Troy is on vacation this week.
You let him take a vacation day, Aaron. Why'd you do that?
Yes, well, he hadn't had a full week of vacation in probably 10 years, so I think it was about time.
Oh, you just want to get rid of him. There's a good choice right there.
Wanted to give you guys a couple of stats this morning from our training program out here. As of yesterday, we've got 261 PSD students that have come through and passed their CDL exam here. Also, we've got that at a 99% pass rate with a 70% trifecta rate. So trifecta rate, of course, means that they passed on their first attempt. But even those that don't pass on their first attempt, 99% of those are still obtaining their CDL. So we're real proud of those numbers. We've also certified 22 new trainers in the past 2 weeks out here, which really helps our program grow.
You know, Aaron, you guys have done a great job out there. You got that nice new building out there, and as we try to grow into it, and obviously the PSDs are the future, so that's just fantastic, and we'll just ask that you keep doing it, and let's just keep growing.
We sure will. And one other thing I wanted to point out, we have Ken here with us this morning from our shop office. People who come through here are most likely going to run into him when they're looking for a new truck. He's located there in our shop building, in the tractor shop, in the office out there. So if anyone needs anything for a truck as far as a loaner truck or trying to get into a new truck, Ken's the guy to see.
No doubt our trainers have been doing a great job too, Aaron. So shout out to all of them. That's 70% pass. That's awesome. That's great percentages and great numbers you guys are producing. So hopefully we keep it up out there.
Sure will. Thanks, guys.
All right, got any questions, make sure you holler at us, Aaron. We'll get you on the mic. Now let's go out to the eastern part of the United States, Pittston, Pennsylvania. Our new granddad of the week is Rick Iffert. Rick's in our safety department. Rick, 5th time, huh, grandkid? That's awesome.
Hey, good morning. And yeah, my middle daughter had a baby last night about 8:30. Aubrey Joy. She was 7 pounds, 14 ounces. Mother and baby are doing fantastic. You know, I don't have all those numbers that Salt Lake City does, and kudos to those guys for doing a good job out there with their training program. We're doing really well here. We had 40 guys this week through class. Most of those will be seated with trainers. In our local program, we'll pick up the rest and take care of those guys. So yeah, we're doing good up here.
Good deal. Looks like it's a nice day up there too. Shorts and t-shirts going.
You know, shorts and t-shirts every day. Winter, summer, doesn't matter.
There you go. Good attitude there, Rick. You got Mr. Rick Yarborough up there?
We do, and he's got the mic. Here he is.
Hey,
All right, good. Good morning, Rick.
Let me trade mics here. That's not working too well. Hey, good morning. My name's Rick Yarborough. I work here at the Piston Terminal, just helping make things happen. And I don't know, this Southern boy can't do shorts in the wintertime. But anyway, 40 guys this week. I think that's a record for us, 40 at one time. I remember a couple of times we were in the high 30s, but 40 I think might be the most. But anyway, I just wanted to take a quick minute here, especially for the folks here. If you look across the street, you see some heavy equipment doing some work over there. We're finally getting started moving dirt on our long-term parking. We're going to expand that, have a dog wash and a dog runs across the street. But what I want to tell you is if you have a car parked here in the long-term parking lot in Pittston, we're going to have some moved. So we're going to be reaching out to fleet managers and to drivers who have cars registered here. And we're going to have you routed in to get those cars moved. And when you come in, security will tell you where you can park. So this is going to be going on for the next 2 months. So if you get a call or a message to get to Pittston, please come and move your car, because one car could really hold up progress if we don't get it moved. And if we call you 2 or 3 times, we'll probably just have to tow it and send you a bill. So you might want to get in here and move your cars. Other than that, I appreciate everyone's patience, here at this terminal and every terminal. We're a little short-handed, as you know, and I apologize. I've seen all the social media posts with the cafeteria having to close early a lot of days. If anyone wants a part-time job while you're in the terminal working in the cafeteria, let me know, and we'll keep it open a little bit longer. But for now, we are doing the best we can to hire people up to keep our amenities open. Just please be patient. If you ever need anything in the Pittston terminal here, just look me up, call me, because you'll probably not find me sitting in one spot too long. Other than that, any questions for me? I'm around all day, and have a great one. We'll kick it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Rick. You guys have any questions, make sure you holler at us. Let's get you on the mic. So back here in Springfield, welcome everyone. Got some important people up here. We got over here to my right, your left, obviously, is Brian and Richard. They're running our IT show here today so we can have this meeting. Over to my left, your right, is Andrea and Mitch, and they're doing YouTube Live and Facebook Live as well. So they'll be getting questions coming in, and we'll be going to them a few times throughout our meeting. But our most important people are sitting right here. Many of you are wearing a yellow vest. So if you're new here to Prime this week, this is your first week of orientation, please stand up. We'd like to give you a round of applause. Awesome. Glad to have you. Next, I'm going to turn it over to my man here to the right here, your left, Steve Field, our safety director. Go ahead, Steve. Good morning.
Boy, you're really good with those left and rights, Dave.
I'm trying to keep that straight. For me, it's kind of hard. So,
good morning, everyone. Just a couple of comments before we get into the meeting. Rick Yarborough talked about Pittston putting that long-term parking across the street there. And, if you've been up to the Pittston terminal or ever been to the Northeast, you know how valuable land is up there, how precious it is. And when we bought that original property, probably now 12, 14 years ago, we're kind of landlocked there, but it's taken a lot of effort and a lot of money to be able to expand that. But we've got a full training pad up there. We're going to have more long-term parking, and I think that's just incredible. And it's really the commitment that Prime has to our outside terminals, both in Pittston and Salt Lake City. And we often get the question, well, when can we open a terminal in Atlanta? When can we get one in Florida? There's a lot of moving pieces with that, and we're always looking for opportunity. Our next big piece of property that we'll bring on will be Manuka, Illinois, up near Chicago. Sort of started for our tanker division, but saw a good opportunity to make a terminal that all our drivers could use, a good, safe place to park up in the Chicago area. It's not going to have fuel, but I think it's a Love's just down the street, literally right down the street. There'll be long-term parking for drivers there. Just a huge commitment from Prime to bring that online as well. And I guess my point with all that is Prime is in this for the long haul. And for you folks that are new to us, we welcome you. We talked a minute about growth out in Salt Lake City. Growth is so important to our company, and we'll have a few people today that will probably mention growth. It gives us the ability to get you paid the way you should, the way you deserve, as we have more capacity within the market. So growth is great. I'm telling you, you're entering trucking at a fantastic time. And our first speaker will be Jason Seymour. And when he comes up, he's going to talk about some of the economic opportunities that are available to drivers right now. And you folks that are new, you've taken a plunge right here. You've left your home, you've probably left a job, you've left your family, and you've really entrusted us, and we're not going to let you down. We're going to ask you to work hard. We're going to ask you to listen. But at the end of the day, we're going to give you an opportunity that we believe is unique within the trucking industry, and will give you the opportunity to take care of your family and maybe do some things that you haven't previously been able to. So for you new folks, we super are happy to have you here. So thanks for being here, and thanks to all our drivers. We're going to honor a couple of drivers today for some incredible achievements. We've got Jason Seymour coming up to talk about team earning opportunities. We've got Andy Bell. I don't want to mess up. Andy's going to talk about maintaining reefers. Something neat going on in the floral. For our drivers that have been here a while, who's ever done a floral load? Quite a few of you. Well, you like taking those flowers off the back of that trailer, don't you? Well, I'm not going to tell you something you may know, but Brad's going to talk about that and floral loads. And we'll have Brad for that. And if we've got time, we'll get Travis Bacon up. We have Travis waiting for weeks here. He's just chomping to get in here, but we keep bumping him. We'll see how we're doing for time. So we're going to keep moving. Going to ask Dave to cover some safety information here, and then we're going to get right into our first speaker.
All right, let's look at our inspections this past week. We had 112 DOT inspections. 80 of those were clean, 71% clean rate. So big congrats. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Just a reminder, this week we still have our CVSA Brake Safety Week going on. So if you see more scales open, more trucks getting pulled in because the feds and the state are out there looking at more trucks, looking specifically at brakes, but they're also looking at your lights, your ELDs, your hours of service, making sure you got your spare logbook, the whole 9 yards. So be prepared for that. And that will end August 28th. So a few more days on that, and that'll be over with. But always do pre-trip inspections. Do not ever cut corners on that, because you need to know what's working on your truck and what's not. And the only way you know that is by doing a proper pre-trip. So make sure you have that flashlight with you. You're looking underneath. Even daytime, have a flashlight with you, because it's hard to see. It gets dark up underneath there. And if you got a good connection with the kingpin on the fifth wheel and all that good stuff, and you're just checking over all the cross members and going through all that. One other thing I want to bring up too, and I know it's 95 degrees today here in Springfield, and it's hot throughout the United States, but it's chain law time. And I know it's we're thinking chains already, and we're talking tire chains on trucks. And yeah, wintertime, and it's going to be hitting out west. And Colorado is the first state that starts regulating chains, and that starts September 1st. So September 1st on I-70, mile markers 133 to 259, they will be checking trucks for tire chains, cables, auto socks, all that. You need to have them on your truck. If you don't, I ran through their website yesterday. It's a $500 fine plus a $79 surcharge. And then they will make you go buy them. You don't want to buy them out on the road. Get them here to Terminal, Salt Lake, Pittston. It's a lot cheaper. Right now, we are selling chains as a set. Will cover your truck and trailer. New, they're $350 out here in the plaza, and that's at all three terminals. Used, $175 if they have them. Auto socks are going for $175 for a set meaning two. So you got to make sure you have enough to cover both the tractor and trailer if you're going with auto socks. How do you get auto socks? Right down here in our company stores. Pittston, Salt Lake have them, and so does here in Springfield. So check those out if you're interested in them. They are expensive, but they're a lot easier to put on than they are regular chains and cables. So now, how do you know where all the regulations are on these chains and cables? We put out a guidance letter, guidance information on that, and let's go to the app. So if Brian can bring that up real quick. Your Prime mobile app, you go underneath My Prime, pretty simple. And if you don't have the mobile app or you're having issues with it, perfect people to see after the meeting. Brian and Richard, they know this thing inside and out. Matter of fact, they developed many parts of it. So see them afterwards. But you go underneath the My Prime, underneath Documents, and then click on Chain Advisory, and that'll take you to that document right over there to the far right, and it'll explain the states that we look at more heavily, which are the most regulated states: Colorado, California, Oregon, and Washington. They're the four main ones that are out there. I think I also have Idaho on there as well. If you have questions on regulations on chains, give us a call in safety or stop by our desk. We're more than happy to talk to you about it. Chain availability and all that all goes through the terminals, goes through Road Assist, or I should say drivers line up in Pittston, Salt Lake, and and then Salt Lake and Springfield as well. So any questions on this? Make sure you get that mobile app though for all the new folks out here. That's important to have. It's really mandatory. You need to have it. There's no questions asked. So a lot of good videos in there too as well. I think Andrea has one on over it. She even made on how to put tire chains on as well. So you can actually check out the video if you don't know. Also, check with driver's lineup if you don't know. They can show you as well too. They have a little stage tire set up, and somebody can take some few minutes out of their day and they'll show you how to put those on, make it a lot easier for you as well. So any questions on this? But yes, chain regulations are coming, and they start in 5 days in Colorado. The only other state that has a date on carrying chains on your truck is the state of Washington, and that's November 1st. But obviously you comply with Colorado, you're ready to go to the state of Washington. So, and yes, they have to be on your trailer or on your truck. Even if it's a day like this, it's 90 degrees outside. They can still check if you don't have them. It's a ticket on I-70, mile marker 133 to 259. So.
And we do see tickets on that, don't we?
We do from time to time, yes. We hope that if they stop you and they check you, they'll give you a break the first few weeks, but there's no guarantee with enforcement. I'll just be honest with you. And many times it depends on your attitude. If you're professional to them and you say, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have them on, but we don't like to roll that dice. We don't like to take that chance. So get them on before you get out of the terminal. Check with our lineup people. They'll get you all loaded up, whatever you want to go with, and get you rolling so you're legal.
We'll be ready.
There we go.
Before I bring Jason up, there's one more thing I need to talk about, and I just want to talk just briefly about our new requirements in the building. There's signs up everywhere. I think they're pretty clear. And basically it is, if you're not vaccinated, and being vaccinated is not required, it's not something that's on the horizon, that's a personal choice. I do recommend that you talk to who you think can give you the best information about the vaccine, your doctor. We've got Trinity Healthcare downstairs. There's a lot of information out there about it, but it's not required here at Prime. However, if you are not vaccinated, you do need to wear a mask in any of our buildings. And unfortunately, when we do detect someone that or realize that someone has COVID, what we do is we have to go back, go through all the camera footage and see who that person was near. And if they weren't wearing a mask, that presents a problem. So we really need people wearing a mask. Of course, if you're eating, take the mask down. Don't try to stuff it up under the mask. But when you're through eating, if you're not vaccinated, please put the mask on. We do vaccinations here every Tuesday and Thursday down at Trinity Healthcare. It's readily available in the community. I'll ask, if you're not vaccinated, that you really give that some thought. Enough said on that. Jason, come on up, sir. Got Jason Seymour, always known as a calm associate. You'll rarely hear him raising his voice. I heard, brother.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Go introduce yourself, Jason, and take over.
You threw me off there. My name's Jason Seymour. Good morning, everybody. I work in reefer operations. Appreciate all of you being here today, and appreciate the time I get every Friday to talk to you about a wonderful opportunity. And that's really why I'm here. I'm speaking mostly to the folks in the yellow vests out here. It's your first week, day one, kind of starting your career here at Prime. We feel like you've made a great choice. And what I want to do is talk to you and really just ask you a very simple question. How many of you that this is your first week, maybe you just got your permit, maybe you're testing out for your permit. How many of you, if I could explain to you how you could make $100,000 in the next 52 weeks, would want to do that? How many of you? Yeah, a lot of hands. That's great. That's what we like to see. Higgins, come see me. We'll try to get that CDL. Hey, third time's a charm, right? Third time's a charm. Fourth. That's right. I forgot about that backing incident on the pole, but that's cool. So seriously though, the opportunity is here. And the great thing about it is the path has been laid out for you. All the heavy lifting has been done. All you need to do is work the plan. Plan your work and work your plan. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. Because the people we have out there right now that are making $100,000 a year, 52 weeks ago, they were sitting here just like you. Day one, maybe hadn't been out on the road yet, and they're out there doing it right now. So when you think about your career at Prime, you always want to start with the end in mind, right? Start at the end with where you want to be and work your way backwards. And so I'm just going to hit a few of the main points along the way and encourage you to develop that plan and kind of build your circle of trust, your fleet manager, your payroll associate, road assist advisor, myself or the other operations managers, will be glad to help. The safety department. I talk a lot about in the PSD program, you guys all know Steve Larson and Stan Casterkey, great sources of information, not just through training, but operationally also. So anyway, back to the plan. So you got to think you're here, probably for the next 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to make zero, right? Because you're training, you're learning to get your CDL. So 4 times 0 is what? 0. So the next 4 weeks, you're not going to have any earnings. But the great thing about it is you're going to come away with a CDL at the end of that time, and you're going to enter our training program. Now, the training program is 30,000 miles minimum, with no accidents, tickets, and some of that stuff, and you can upgrade to become an AC. Now, during that takes about 9 weeks or so, okay? So during that 9-week period of time, your earnings are going to be $900 a week, okay? So for the next 9 weeks, you're going to earn $900, so that's a total of $8,100. So once you hit that point and you come in, you upgrade, you go through the classes, you see leasing, you lease a truck, and I'm a little disclaimer here. The numbers I'm giving you, these are refrigerated division lease operator numbers. If you're in tanker, they're a little bit different. If you go flatbed, they're a little bit different. If you go company, they're a little bit different. On the lease side in all 3 divisions, they're all relatively close. All right. So, but in the refrigerated division, our average earnings, all right, and this is average over the last 52 weeks for our solos is $1,565. That's profit to the truck after paying your truck payment fuel, $1,565 in the bank average. Okay. So during that next 13-week period of time, all right, because we're going to do that for 13 weeks, that's going to put another $20,345 in your account. Okay. Now, training, you can start training when you get to 6 months longevity. Okay. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. If you intend on following this, you need to start today and making the plan so that when 6 months hit, you're eligible to come in and take the training courses and take advantage of the next part of the plan that I'm going to talk about. Okay. And when we talk about there, it's a lot about safety, it's accidents, it's critical events, it's driving habits, how fast you're driving, your net fuel costs. That's very important to the profitability of a truck. Logs is a biggie. Sleeper berth versus off duty, are you misusing personal conveyance? Some of those things. We have people review all those statistics or all those metrics with regard to you individually to say, yeah, we want this person to train, or, we need to work on a few things before. So the important thing is during this first 6 months, once you get your CDL for that first 6 months, you want to totally be in tune with what's going on there. So when that 6 month period ends, you can come in and take the trainer course. And at that point, you'll be just like, you guys are all going through class to get your CDL. We've got a group of about 60 folks scattered between our 3 terminals right now that are going through class that are getting ready to take out their first student just like you, right? And many of you will be matched up with them. So, and you think that's about a 4-week period of time. So now during that 4 weeks, you're not just going to make the earnings that you get on a truck, but there's also an additional $300 stipend that they get for having you out there. Okay. So that's another $7,460. Okay. Now here's where the real payoff happens. Okay. And what that is teams are so valuable in our network right now. Teams are extremely valuable. Our average team earnings in the refrigerated division are $3,045 a week. Okay. That's profit to the truck, deposited in your bank account. That's after you pay your truck payment, after you pay your fuel, after you pay the co-driver, $3,000. So once you've gone through the 4 weeks of zero to get your CDL, once you've gone through the 9 weeks of training at 900, once you've ran those 13 weeks as a solo to gain the experience that you need to be able to teach somebody else, and then you kind of reach the top of the mountain, and then you come in, you take the class, we pair you up with somebody, and then you go out and you're a trainer, you're a driver trainer, and that's where you're earning the $3,000 a week. If you follow that plan, that comes out to $102,000. Okay. So every one of you in the room right now has the opportunity to earn $102,000 between now and August 27th of 2022, right? Any questions? Wow. Okay. Well, just a couple of things real quick. Start with the end in mind. The plan starts today. Okay. You got to get with your fleet manager. You got to make sure you're talking to your log people. You got to make sure you're talking to Steve and the safety team. All these things are important. Nothing breaks my heart more than a person that wants to come in and train, and we start to review their record, and there's, a couple of things that, we need to correct, and all it does is delay that for a month or two or whatever while we try to work those things. Sometimes longer, sometimes not as long, just depending on the severity of it. But, the thing is the path has been laid for you. The business plan is there. Plan your work for the next 52 weeks, work the plan. We're all here to support you. I sit either in the basement of the Z building or out in the plaza. Stan and Jamie are the other ops managers here. We got Brian Singleton out in Salt Lake City. So we're all here to support you. And if there's anything we can do to help you realize those goals and take advantage of this opportunity, please let us know. Thanks.
Super. Thanks, Jason. The one thing, when Jason talks about that, he does such a good job. Sometimes I'm thinking in the back of my mind, someone's thinking, well, if they're going to pay me all that money, that means that Jason's going to make less money or Steve's going to make less money. But that's not really how we're organized, and that's not how it works here. Literally, the more you make, the more I make, the more Prime makes. It gives us the ability to build these facilities, to have our nice parties when we get back to that. We are all in on you being successful. Nothing would be greater than if every one of you a year from now come up to Jason and say, you know what, I did it. I had that plan, I worked it, and I'm going to make $100,000 this year. I'm going to do this with my family and this and this. So we are all in, and it can be done. We've been doing this portion. Prime's 51 years old, but this PSD program's been around for about 15 years now. We've tweaked it as we've gone along. It's gotten better every year. So it is extremely achievable.
And you won't get any better training than what you're getting right here. There's no doubt. Hands-on experience out with a trainer, learning the ins and outs of trucking and Prime, which is the most important for you, and how to run a business and how to be safe out there. That's what it's all about right there. So you come to the right place, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Should we get Andy up here?
Bring Andy up.
Andy, come on up here. Andy Bell with Carrier. Andy's going to talk to us. We haven't had him up here in what? It's been a long time, a year and a half, 2 years probably. So Andy's going to talk to us about reefers this morning, how to maintain them, how to keep them clean and all that. So nice to have you.
Thanks, sir. Brianne, can you bring up my PowerPoint? You have it? There we go. Okay. Morning, guys. My name is Andy Bell. I'm actually the on-site carrier rep. I'm work down in the road assist department down in the Z building basement. Kind of setting the row of what we really call, it's really become the on-site rep row anymore, because that's pretty much everybody that's on that row now is in with Justin Kaufman, the road assist manager as well. So what I'm going to talk about, guys, we're going to hit up on the on just some housekeeping with the trailers themselves, on the reefer trailers. And then we'll touch on a couple other things on running pre-trip and defrost cycles. So the big thing, we've had a couple of complaints to the safety department about not sweeping trailers and not keeping the trailers clean. Very, very important to have that good airflow inside that trailer. So keeping the floor slots cleaned out. We don't want pallets wedged down in there, pallet boards, that kind of stuff. Keep that all cleaned out, and to ensure that proper airflow. Do not sweep to the front of the trailer. Okay, go the other direction. Start from the front and work your way back, because the return air actually circulates through the bottom of the lower half of the bulkhead. Brianne, if you can go to the next slide for me, please. So where that purple circle is right there that you can see, the front end of the that's the bulkhead, what we consider the bulkhead on the unit. The picture that's next to that shows you what's the bottom of that, what that looks like if you had it standing on its side. Okay, so that's basically where that airflow circulates back through. So if you put any trash up there, shrink wrap, it doesn't matter what it is, that unit will pull that trash up into that reefer unit, and it will affix against that evaporator coil, which causes problems. So there's times where they'll go through multiple defrost cycles. It may not be because the unit's frozen up. It may be because there's trash up against that evaporator coil, and it's just not getting enough airflow. So the next slide, I'll actually show you a picture of the. Oh, I skipped over. So I should have put that in another order. Sorry. Brian, can you go to the next slide and I'll come back to that one? Thank you. So the defrost, to show you what the evaporator coils look like, the center picture there that's next to the in between the power button or the three soft keys, the blue soft keys next to it, that shows you, it's kind of a side picture of the evaporator coil. So you can actually check those even with the bulkhead in place. Okay, the bulkhead can actually be pulled back just a little bit. There's slots on there where you can kind of pull back and you can glance down through there and see if you see any trash on it. Okay, I usually just take a picture of it with my phone because it's just faster that way. And you can pull it back out and look at it. But the small picture down there in the corner is a nice evaporator coil. It's kind of small because we're going to have a place on the slides, but that's truly what happens when they need to be defrosted. Okay, they will really ice up. So anytime you see the water that's draining out of the front of the trailers, okay, the two drain defrost tubes that are the other two pictures there kind of show the front of the trailer there. That's where the water drains out from. Okay, so those also need to be cleared. Okay, the kazoos up on there, any trash and debris that comes up in the evaporator coil and then drains out, the little pieces will actually get into that defrost tube. And so those defrost tubes, if you squeeze them, and you can actually press on them and squeeze them, and they'll actually come out. If there's trash backing behind them and there's water backed up on there, they will dump quite a bit of water out behind it. I highly suggest if you're standing on the ground when you're doing that, just step back from it because it will soak your feet if there's a bunch of water back in behind them. So what happens if those defrost tubes get backed up and they can't drain the water? It's going to drain out to the trailer. Okay, it will come out through the bottom floor drains of the trailer instead. So make sure you keep all that stuff clean. Check them every time you load a trailer, right? If it's a preloaded trailer and you unload it, go back and check it after you get unloaded, but try to check them out as often as possible. Okay, the defrost key, guys, make that your best friend. Do not be scared to defrost a trailer, all right? Doesn't matter. There's times if it's too warm inside of it, if you have like a 70-degree load on it, you press that button, it's going to tell you it can't do one, okay? That's okay. But if you have a -10 load on it or -22 load on it, don't be scared to defrost them. It doesn't matter if it's loaded or empty. You can still defrost them. If you get one that's truly frozen up solid, I will really tell you to run 3 to 4 back-to-back manual defrost cycles. Okay, it's not going to hurt anything. Yes, it's going to take away your refrigeration for a little bit, but I guarantee you once it comes out of that and it gets thawed out correctly, it's going to do a lot better job. Okay, so very, very important to remember to do those defrosts. To run the defrost, you just press the defrost button. Right? That's all you got to do. It'll start into it automatically from there. If it tells you it can't do it, don't worry about it. Okay, but the one thing I will tell you, if you have an active alarm, you have to clear that active alarm before you can run a defrost cycle. Okay, so make sure you push your alarm button, clear out the alarms, and then press your defrost button right behind that. Okay. Okay, Brian, if you can go back to the other previous slide. I knew I should have put that in a different order. Okay, your pre-trips. To run a pre-trip cycle, again, loaded or empty, does not matter. You can run them either way, okay? Every time you pick up a trailer or drop a trailer, run the pre-trip on it, okay? Pre-trip, if you press the menu key, second soft key from the right, okay, as you're facing it. I'm sorry, from the left. I did the same thing Dave does. If you press it, it's going to bring up the pre-trip option. If you press the soft key underneath the pre-trip, okay, it's going to bring up a little pop-up box. It'll actually start the pre-trip. Hit your equal key, it'll start into pre-trip. As it goes through the pre-trip, it'll put the crossbar across there. They generally take 15 to 20 minutes to complete, okay? If you're picking up a loaded trailer at a shipper or at a drop yard, do not leave that location until that pre-trip is done. Okay? It's much, much easier for us if something's wrong with that trailer, especially if you're still at the O1, it's your shipper. We can actually have them offload that trailer if need be. Okay? Much cheaper than trying to figure out how to get it fixed en route. Okay? Plus, there's a lot of shippers out there that won't let you leave if it has an active alarm on it anyway, or if there's something wrong with it. So we prefer to do it while you're at the shippers. Okay? But other than that, unless you guys have any questions, like I said, I sit down in the basement of the Z building. If you have any questions, come see me, come find me, and I'll be more than happy to help you with stuff. Right?
Any questions for Andy?
Mr. Paul Higgins.
Oh.
I tried to keep it short, guys. I did.
Andy, you got any coaching for people about if they're going to pick up a frozen load? Do you do anything with the drain holes inside the trailer? Can you give some of these folks a little tip there?
Yes. I wish I had a picture of one of those. As you guys know, there's 4 drain holes on all, or you may not know, there's 4 drain holes on all the trailers, okay? They're on the outer corners of all 4 locations. They should have a rubber kazoo on the bottom of them, but those rubber kazoos actually last, the rubber kazoos are the rubber pieces that flatten out so they don't allow air come back in, but they'll allow water to drain out. But if you are picking up a frozen load, -10, pretty much anything that's colder than 0, really is where we suggest it, but you can do it on other ones as well. Wet paper towels work wonderful, okay? If you get wet paper towels, stuff them down in those holes, as that trailer freezes, they will actually freeze in there as it gets cold enough, and they will not come back out of there, okay? And it helps keep that air inside that box. It doesn't allow that air to come back in there. If we leave those open and they don't have the kazoos in the bottom of them, you basically have a 4-inch hole in the bottom of your trailer. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a huge difference on that trailer when it's 100 degrees outside. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Remember to do that. So, okay? Good question, Paul. Thank
Anything
you.
else for Andy? We appreciate you coming up, Andy. Andy mentioned that he's a vendor here, means he's not actually a Prime associate, but he's a member of the Prime family, as all those folks are. If you kind of look behind you in the back, there's a bunch of folks. Maybe you could just answer the vendors. Just stand for a second so we can see you back there. You know, these folks are part of the Prime family, and it's this thing that I think is pretty unique about Prime, that we're able to have all of our OEM, have someone on site here to answer questions, to troubleshoot. But remember, your road assist advisor, you have support here 24/7. If there's something acting up with that reefer, don't hesitate to call. There's no stupid question. After safety, there's not much anything else that's as important as temperature controlled loads and maintaining the temperatures out there. It's critical to us. The customers look at that very carefully, and with technology, they know exactly what was going on with their load, and they don't hesitate to say, we're not going to accept that load. It's critical that we maintain those temperatures. I know it's complicated, so please ask questions, use your road assist advisor as a tool.
Especially on these 95 to 100 degree days.
It's warm.
It's tough, no doubt.
Ready, Brad? You know, Brad Quinn's coming up. Brad's in our sales and marketing department here. And got to tell you, Brad, these two gentlemen in the front here raised their hand and said they hauled flower loads, and they said they didn't like unloading those flowers. So I don't know if there's anything you can do about that.
Well, thanks, Steve. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you all are ready for Labor Day next weekend. You know, I guess this is pretty easy to follow up after all that technical stuff. I'm going to talk some more exciting things. And since our VP, Steve Watke's out today, maybe I'll fill in a little bit for him on some things going on. You know, today in this world, things are kind of shaky, a little rocky out there. It's kind of hard to make good executive decisions, but it's moving away from the driver unload effective Monday, August 30th. So any load departing any of our facilities, it'll be receiver unload. Today we did a trial with a few customers. What you're going to see is you're going to see some wholesalers that are going to combine together in a certain market and maybe do a 2-stop load. Maybe we drop a trailer in Salt Lake City. We got one customer that's going to assume the responsibility, and we're going to drop the trailer at his facility, and they'll do the shuttling from there. Dallas is another market. A couple customers are going to mix together. We'll actually go to 2 drop locations. They're choosing to palletize the load. We're billing them for the pallets. Your job, your responsibility at this point is the lead driver. The other ones stay resting, do what you do. But we need you to come out, and you do have to verify the count with the customer. When it's on pallets, like on that drop situation, they're going to sign off on it, and we'll work on that later. But any load, any drop that is on pallets, you need to confirm. You know, we're not going to sneak boxes in the middle because it's our own people loading this, but, you know, just be careful, watch the count. It's crucial. Every box is considered $100 to us, and it should be to you as well. So anyway, that's going to take effect Monday, August 30th out of California. fifth trailers basically is free, free to them. And where are they going to come up with that fifth driver when they're struggling for the four they already have? So, we were hoping they were going to follow suit. They didn't. Shame on them. But things will change as this market always does, and that's our expectation. But if capacity gets worse and worse, I mean, yes, we will have to consider solos, no doubt about it. But our selling point is our teams, prime nationwide to all of our customers, and we want to keep that going as much as we can. Now, they are expected to get there at 2 a.m. too. Okay, your manifest is going to have times on it. Your delivery appointment is not going to be a window of 8 a.m. to 11. It's going to be 23:59 let's use 22:59 to 2300. It's going to be a 1 minute thing. That's your expectation. The unloading should not take more than an hour at any location, especially the ones on pallets. Those should be pull off 30 minutes and you're done. These other locations, I mean, you guys know how long it takes to unload a box. I mean, we say a minute a box, which, that's giving you a little time, but they're expected to have personnel there. If it's 3 a.m., it's 3 a.m. We're giving them 2 free hours. If they don't show up in 2 free hours, we're billing detention, just like we do with any other prime customer. So guys and gals, this is a huge change. It's going to take 2 to 4 weeks at least for this to roll out, just work in progress. So be patient. Communicate with your fleet managers. Fleet managers will communicate with us. When there's issues, delays, we'll have after-hour numbers. Feel free to call ahead and tell them you're 1 hour out if you'd like. We're not requiring that. A lot of states, it's not legal to be on your phone while you're driving. So, but there are after-hour numbers. We require that. So, that's what a lot of them are asking, to be proactive, give them a call 1 hour out. We're not going to demand it. You guys decide what you can and want to do. Any other floral questions?
Yeah, you got a lot of floor loads where they go to the small floor shops and they don't have docks or anything like that. Basically you're straddling the street. Are they going to have people in there, or is that going to go to a bigger warehouse and then a smaller truck will be delivering that later on in the afternoon?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of those smaller customers will probably exit the business, or they will combine with one of those bigger wholesalers in that area and ask to drop their product there, because they know what tailgating's like. Well, they probably don't, but they're going to find out pretty quick. And, and it's not nice. We also know we have these delivery places at night that aren't safe. Unfortunately, we have a lot of homeless people all over this world, and, they come up to you guys and ask to help and, want some food or whatever. So they're going to start seeing these things, and they're going to understand what our drivers have done for them the last 16, 17 years.
You had said the 30th for California. When do you anticipate this going into effect for Florida?
No, it's 30th everywhere.
Oh, for everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today we did a trial run with a few customers. Pikes Peak in Houston's a big customer of ours. They're running a full truckload, 3-drop, Harahan, Louisiana, Houston, Dallas. Houston, Austin. So Harahan will deliver at 3 or 4 o'clock today. It left Pearson at 3 this morning. They'll deliver. People will be there. It gets to Houston tonight. That's the tricky, 10, 11 p.m. Somebody's going to have to be there tonight, Friday night, 11 p.m. And then we'll be in Austin at 5 a.m. We could be there a little earlier, but they requested 5 a.m. So these customers that are booking a full truckload like that, they can dictate what their delivery time is. If we're going to be there at 1 a.m. based on a 45, 50 mile an hour average, they can request 5 a.m. and we'll give that to them.
Hey, Brad, we do have one question from Dwayne. He said, is there going to be detention, and after how long?
Detention's 2 hours.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for floral. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Check in. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about one of our long-term customers. Remember, this is a live atmosphere, so please be respectful of that. Anheuser-Busch, we haul a lot of loads, and to be honest, we can haul a lot more. It's not easy freight before you get it on the trailer, right? but it's easy once you get it on the trailer, once you leave. It's, one pick, one drop, no touch. So, we've had our difficulties. No, we're not going to lie about it. We're not going to put a mask over our face and say that, it's been a glory ride. So I fight for you guys daily. I mean, if you could see the emails that have gone out, just the struggles, just trying to help you all out, your delays at the origin, at the breweries, the way the guards treat you, totally understand it. I need that information. I need it the day it happens. I need I need their name. They all have names, okay? It's a third party vendor relationship, right? These people are supposed to be representing Anheuser-Busch. They don't do a great job, but that's what they're there for. So they are taking our comments, they're writing them down. I have a weekly meeting, at least one, just had one yesterday at 2:30, had another one Tuesday. So, I mean, it's nonstop. So anyway, what we can do to help them. They have a new app out there. It's called, I think it's Bud Express. Let me look here. Yeah, Bud Express. So go to your app store and download Bud Express. And I have some copies up here. I'm gonna leave them. All you have to do is take your smartphone, take your camera out, and it'll take you right to the Safari, to the App Store, and you can download it. What does this do for you? This allows you to get in the gate quicker. They have these access lanes that are specifically for users that utilize this technology. So use it. If you're going to wait in line 15 to 30 minutes, download the app and get it done. All you have to do is enter your driver information, your name, your truck number, your weight. The trailer number you have at that time. So please try to do that. They have this active in all locations. I think there's 4 locations, maybe Fairfield, California, Williamsburg, maybe Fort Collins, and one other that it's not in place. But they also have what's called asset lanes. A lot of their freight is handled by brokers. Okay. We are a minority. We offer them a lot. We offer them drop trailers. It's huge. It's critical to their success because they produce so much that their floors get full and they have to stop. So we have a lot to offer them. They have these asset lanes, so use them. Go in there. You don't have to wait in these long lines. Cartersville, Georgia, for instance, I've heard drivers wait 4 hours to get in there. And once you're in line, you sure in hell can't get out. You got a truck in front of you. You got one behind you. We actually had a truck try to do U-turn 2 weeks ago and tore up one of their, one of those little booths that they have for these check-ins. So don't try it. Just utilize the technology that's out there. Please download the app and let's try to get in these gates quicker. If you have delays, if you have somebody mistreating you, let me know. Weekend deliveries have been an issue from time to time where you show up and no one's there. They are making the appointments for us. It's not our personnel. So keep that in mind. But please communicate these as they occur. And if you're not getting any feedback, your fleet manager, I'm sure, will get with me. We've had quite a few of them follow up with me. So that's it. They do want to grow. We're already talking about 2022. They've committed to make a trip to Springfield, Missouri with their leadership team. Not to spend 1 hour or 2, but, we're going to spend a whole afternoon and a night. And then the next morning, we're trying to get them in here in this environment. And then after the meeting, maybe have a live open session, not on Facebook Live. So, because they respect your feedback and want it. So anyway, just keep that in mind. They have a ton of potential. We're only doing $500,000 a week with them. Our top accounts were $3 million a week. So we've actually cut them back quite a bit the last 4 weeks because of issues we've been having. So we don't want to do that. We want to work with our partners. We want to grow with them, and we want to work through all these situations and make things better. Thanks.
No, Tom's got a question for you, Brad.
Are their rates going to start going up? Because they're some of the cheapest freight out there. With as heavy as them loads are, that's some cheap stuff.
I don't really want to talk about rates in a live atmosphere, but to be honest and respectful, when you compare it to the regions that we're hauling out of, I would respectfully disagree with some of the comments. But yes, I mean, Yeah, all rates are going up, and that's been a conversation. We just started, we're going to look at Cartersville, Georgia next week and doing some Cartersville, Georgia, South Carolina business, regional business. And, what we're discussing in that financially is significantly changing. So, and, we get in these annual contracts with customers, and, that's who we are. That's who Prime is. We honor our awards, our commitments. Do we want to go midterm and make changes? Sometimes we have to. And we're doing it right now with some, but we got to be respectful of our customers and, what they do for us on a year-round basis. But that is considered and taken well.
Appreciate you coming up today, Brad. And, for you folks that are new, we'll just say that Brad's representing our sales force today. And let me tell you, and I think you can tell it from what Brad was talking about, our sales guys are all in for you. They know you, they know what you do. And this idea of the drivers not unloading the flowers, not that undifferent if you go back, or not that different from if you go back 15 years and you old timers remember the days of pallets where we basically had to manage pallets for our customers, pick them up, drop them off. And finally, Prime, as in this case too with Floral, Prime said, no, that is not right. That should not be a driver responsibility. And we took the lead on that, which is now the industry standard. And I think on Floral, this will become the industry standard. So Brad, thanks for coming in today and speaking about those. Okay, we've got one more big thing to do today, and we'll probably struggle a little bit here, but we'll give it a try. So let's start with Charlie, if you and Brenda will come up, and Cole, if you'll come up, and in Pittston, Rick, if you could get Barry and Bob and Sheila, if she's up there, all together. And we'll go up to Pittston first.
Hey, we're kind of froze up here. Our screens are froze, but we can sure talk though. Over the last year and a half, some of our programs, our Prime traditions, have kind of put on the back burner, with the exception of one, which is our Million Mile program. And thanks to our drivers, and kudos to you guys out there racking up the 1,000,000 miles of safe driving. We got one here today that's racked up a total of 3 million miles. Total grand miles, and that deserves a round of applause for that. His name is Bob Congers, and he's with his wife Sheila. They run team together, and their fleet manager here is Barry Poller. So Barry, give us Bob in 1 minute or less.
Professional, safe. As a 3 million miles, his service record is impeccable. They're easy to dispatch. They get along with them very well. Do anything I ask, offer to do stuff, fuel trailers, wash them out. So it's my privilege to be their fleet manager.
And I'm going to get Bob here 1 second, and Bob, I'm going to give you one question. How do you do it?
Plan every trip.
Plan every trip?
Plan every trip.
How about anything else?
No, we just work together. Yep.
Long distance?
Everything.
Everything.
Log books.
Bob's a man of few words, but he does a good job for us, and he puts in the good miles. And Sheila right along with him, I think she's got a million or so under her belt. 2, 3, okay, yeah, same for her, Sheila too. They all do a fabulous job for us, and we just want to congratulate them. Here's a little token from Robert to you.
Thank you.
Back to you folks. Thank you.
I'll just throw in my congratulations to Bob and Sheila, and you guys running a tough area up there. I think you're still doing the Ben and Jerry's, and for both of you to have 3 million safe miles now, a total of 6 million safe miles at Prime for you is, that's extremely, extremely rare. We've had a couple of teams ahead of you, but just an incredible accomplishment. So want to thank both Bob and Sheila for your incredible contribution to Prime, to safety, and really to our industry as a whole. So thank you, Bob, and thank you, Sheila. Okay. Robert, can
He's
you come
nodding
on
his
up?
head. He's shaking his head.
Okay.
He's a man of few words.
Yeah, but before we go to our next one, I am going to ask Robert to go ahead and just talk to Bob and Sheila for a minute. There you go, Robert. We got Bob and Sheila Conger.
The Congers, my good friends, they've been here a long time and they have done it all. So proud of you. You've been such a tribute to Prime. You set the example for other drivers to follow. You have won over customers for us. You all can't believe the customer service that this team provides. And I'm proud to call them associates. I'm even prouder to call them friends. They're just great people.
Super. Thank you, Robert. You know, in just a minute about our Million Mile program, we started that about 25 years ago. We started with drivers that achieved 1 million safe miles at Prime. And then we upped it to 2 million safe miles at Prime. And we went to 3 million safe miles at Prime. And 1 million miles equates to about 7 years of accident-free driving. So a 3 million safe mile driver would be 21 years of safe driving without a preventable accident. And then a couple of years ago, we had to up it to 4 million safe miles, which is 28 years of safe driving at Prime. And I forget off the top of my head, I think we've had about 3 or 4 drivers reach that incredible level of excellence right there. But we've got one today, and we've got Charlie Conley up here. We've got his wife, Brenda, who works in-house at Prime. And we've got Cole Balvis, who's Charlie's fleet manager. And Charlie is one of those unique individuals that has reached that 4 million safe miles. Charlie's an entrepreneur. He owns his truck. He's all in trucking. We've had some side conversations about some other topics. And, you know, I can tell you, I'm really, really proud of Charlie and what he's accomplished. So, Cole, why don't you go ahead and talk a minute about him, and then we'll give Charlie, and if that goes south, we'll give Brenda the mic.
Well, I just want to take a moment and say, Charlie, I'm proud of you. I took a moment, and I just wanted to blow Charlie's mind here. When he started his journey, I was in 4th grade, and you know, I almost have dispatched him 1 million miles. So I hope you stick it out so I can.
There you go. Switch it. Sorry about that.
I hope you can stick it out long enough so I can finish out my million with you. So, congratulations.
You know, we normally have a bank for these, but of course, in these strange times, we've had to hold off on bringing all those folks together. But when you really think about that, 4 million safe miles, think of how many lane changes that is, how many times traffic has suddenly come to a stop, how many times Charlie's been backing, how many times he's had a tight corner to go around that you just can't do, but somehow he does it again and again and again. It's just a remarkable achievement. So, Charlie, we're going to take a chance here. We're going to give you the mic, and the floor is yours, my man.
Hello, everybody. Look, I've been at Prime for a while. I love this company. I know the owner. I knew his mother. I mean, you guys, you're coming to this company and you are doing something. Prime has been a home to me. I'm from Virginia. I married this woman here, my wife, Brenda, here. I got convinced to marry her. A lot of, you know, but it's been a great time here. And on the safety part of it, as far as, I'll give you guys just a little of knowledge of mine. Never put your truck or you in a position you cannot get out of. If you do that, you'll end up being like me, old. So, and Robert, I love this guy like a brother. And of course, he tried to kill me during the elk hunt one time, him and Keith. But it was fun, a lot of experience. But like I said, you guys, you are with the company that's just above the rest. And the equipment here, you cannot never complain about what they have. Because the trailers, when I first started here, oh my God, it was, I don't know. You're back there. Tom, you're back there. You know them old trailers, we had to pull the handles on and beat them with the hammer and out there in 14 feet of snow and, you know, and oh my God, this company has gone from fantastic to just superior. So I probably never will retire here, but I love this place. This place is fantastic.
Darrell, we love you too. And as just a token of our appreciation, we're going to present you with this check. Give it to Brenda? Okay, I do. Brenda, you'll take care of it. $10,000. I know you'll take care of it. Charlie really owes me half of it. Let me tell you a little story about my brother here, Charlie. You know, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, something like that,
About 3 years ago.
we had a wager. I mean, Charlie was, you know, he was kind of packing on the poundage, and I said, "Hey, Charlie, I'll make you a bet. If you can lose 50 pounds, I'll take you on the best elk hunting trip you can imagine." He did it. He did it. We're proud of him. I think he put a little bit back on.
Just a little bit. But wait a minute, while I was out there elk hunting, I lost 16 pounds.
Charlie got out there and started hiking up some of those mountains where those elks live. And I tell you what, he was doing some huffing and puffing. He going up to old rock pile there. I thought we were going to lose him a couple of times, Brenda.
Hey, well, it was tough.
It was, but you got it done.
You get to tell them about the visit. I got to visit with the game warden.
No, tell him about that.
So me and Keith are hunting together. Just a quick story. I did not want to have to visit with the game warden, but I ended up having to talk to the game warden. Quick story short is there was 2 deer out there. Well, actually it was 2 bucks and 1 doe, right, Keith? And it was 126 yards. My guide Chet said, "Take the shot. Would you shoot this deer on the first day and the last day?" I said, "I'm going to shoot him." So I shot the deer. Ended up killing 2 deer with 1 shot. I still should have won the bonus, you know. But I had to visit with the game warden, but it was a fantastic trip.
It was, Charlie. Anyway, we love you. Appreciate you very much. You all and drivers like the Congers have really what's built this company, along with a lot of other people. I want to commend Brad Quinn. When Brad started here, he was, just stick around a minute. Yeah, you remember. Brad started, how many years ago was it, Brad? 31 and a half. Now, he just got out of college. He couldn't find a job nowhere. And, you know, after his interviews, I mean, just so, we decided, well, we'll give you a shot as what we call the runner. Now, anybody know what the runner is? This guy that, you know, runs to the post office and he runs over to the lawyer's office and picks up the documents. And it's really not much of a job. But at that time, we didn't have a cafeteria. And all the folks in-house, they would kind of lean on the runner maybe to pick them up some food. And this one wanted their cheeseburger with onions on. This one wanted their cheeseburger with plain. And this one wanted this and that. And I mean, every kind of combination to complicate his life they could possibly imagine. I mean, it was incredible. But then it was, well, we don't just want McDonald's, we want Hardee's. Or we want Burger King. I don't like, you know, so he had to go to all these different places and all these different orders, and they were all specialized. I mean, I'd be embarrassed to go up to Hardee's and order the combinations that these people asked for, but Brad got it done, did such a good job at it. We finally promoted him, let him go to work in operations, start learning things. And, you know, that tenacity you see in him, you know, with the customers. You know, he got some tough customers on his watch. This change, I mean, really changing the floral transportation industry with customer unload, not easy to do. Those people don't want to do that work. Well, Brad has championed that cause been a great leader here. And along with these drivers that you've met today, and Brad and many others, is what really makes Prime. It really what does it. And I'm so proud to be associated with them. So, hey, we're running kind of long. I appreciate you. Welcome to our new folks. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. God bless you and be safe. Rotator cuff. Yeah. I think it's a wear and tear, Charlie.
Thank you.
Hi, buddy. How you doing? Take care of yourself.
I'll let you go through.
I'll let you go.